Tracy is with us in Memphis. Hi, Tracy. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm doing well. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
My husband and I have a rental property in South Carolina that we would like to sell. It currently has renters in it. Their lease is up in December. And our property manager is telling us that due to COVID, the renters do not have to let anyone into the home. So for a personal health issue, they have decided they don't want anyone in the house, not even to take pictures so we can post it online. So my husband and I were thinking about talking to some of these investment groups that keep calling and want to buy our house. But we were hoping to get some wisdom on that situation before we started it, because we haven't done this. We've never sold a home, period. So
I think I would go to an endorsed local provider, like I was just talking about at Ramsey Solutions, and find one of those in their areas. I don't know anything about the current status of COVID restrictions in South Carolina, but I'm calling BS.
I was going to say, is that even legal? Like, can they even do that?
Does your lease not have the right to inspect the property?
I would have to read it.
I think you have a wuss for a property manager.
Okay.
But I do have the spiritual gift of cynicism, so I might be wrong, okay? But I'm first calling that because I'm kind of like old school. Like if I own a house, I'd like to go in at any time I want within reason. They have the right under the law of what's called quiet enjoyment, meaning I don't get to harass them. But for them to stiff-arm you, call COVID when there's not really a COVID problem at their house, I'm just thinking this is a bunch of crap. So I think your ELP, a good real estate agent who would have an incentive to help you sell the house, could probably give you more accurate information. You may need to fire your property manager.
Okay.
That would make me frustrated.
Yeah, I'm
approaching angry.
Yeah, approaching angry. You're a little more gentle this hour.
You know, well, I mean,
angry.
it would. I'm just trying to think. I mean, I wouldn't. Now, if they've got a sick child or the person's in chemo or something, then I'm going to have a lot of compassion and I'll back off of that stance. But if they're just being butts and using COVID to be a butt, then I can help you with your butt problem. You know, I'll remove your butt, right? And so that's a possibility. It just doesn't make sense. Now, it could be South Carolina has some crazy butt. Just sticking with the theme here.
We're just staying with it.
Yeah, but regulation on the books, right? It's possible.
Yeah.
But, I mean, most places had, like, moratoriums on eviction last summer for a while. Some areas have got more lengthy moratoriums on eviction. We had one in our area that lasted for, I don't know, 90 days or something. And I had one tenant go crazy, start beating his wife and all this. She had to leave. I had to get him out of there because I don't deal with people like that very well. I don't have any tolerance for that kind of white trash. And so it's an expensive house. But anyway, I couldn't get him out because of stinking COVID moratorium on evicting people. But it had nothing to do with COVID. It had to do with he was an idiot.
Right.
So, but anyway, still idiots were protected too under it. So, but that's the kind of stuff runs through my head, Tracy, as a landlord for 30 years, that first and foremost. Now, again, I'm also, the other side of that is if someone is in need, we have the ability to be very compassionate and very slow, and I'm certainly not trying to bring harm to someone on the other hand. So I need more information about why these people are stiff-arming you if I'm you, and I need more information about this law, and I'm going to check with an ELP and find that out because I think your property manager is full of crap. I could be wrong. Now, you people from South Carolina, y'all can all write me right now and go, oh, there's a law, Dave. You don't know what you're talking about, because I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying it just smells like tenant misbehavior, not COVID related. So, yeah,
Is there any element of the property manager has no motivation because they want to continue to manage the property?
Yeah, yeah. Or they're one of these
it.
companies that doesn't want to ruffle any feathers, which really you shouldn't be in property management if you don't want to ruffle feathers, because it's kind of like the definition of property management. You ruffle feathers for a living. You collect rent and you move renters along that don't, and this is what you do, right? This is the feather ruffling business, right? So
I feel like you're in a similar business, Dave. You just ruffle feathers on the show all day, every day.
Cause a ruckus. All right, we're just gonna start that. That's our new thing. Everybody do your fingers. Okay. The YouTube people are the only ones that understand what we're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
But, just cause a ruckus. But no, I don't think you have to give the house away. My first step is not to give it away at wholesale to an investor who doesn't even need to see the inside, because what they're going to do is buy the house as cheap as they can to cover the fact that they don't know what's inside, what they're getting into. Are these people in there running a crack house and, they're going to have to burn the thing down, or are they in there, they got 73 cats and you're going to have to strip out the plywood all the way down to the joists because there's no getting a cat smell out of a property. And so that kind of stuff. I mean, what have you got in there? What's going on in there that they don't want you in there? Or are they just trying to be hard to get along with because, there's a limited thing depending on what your lease says and depending on what South Carolina actually has as a regulation. But I think you're onto something with the property manager. I really do.
Like, oh, shucks, they won't let us in. Sorry.
This is why, you see, okay. You remember all those 9 million times people out there that I tell you don't do long-distance landlording?
I've never heard you say that.
Like, don't do long-distance landlording? Remember that? That's it! Right there!
He
That's
says it
why.
every day.
Okay.
He says it every day, everyone.
Every
he says
time
it every
someone
day.
calls with a house out of town, I say don't do it. That's it. That's the reason right there. I don't know how Tracy got in this mess. Bless her heart. She's a sweet lady. And those folk that are living there are lucky they have Tracy.
Yeah.
Because I'm not as compassionate.
You're not Tracy.
Unless I need to be compassionate. And then I can be compassionate. But I'm just not going to be...
Well, and there's an element, too, of this, aside from even if they do let her in, there's stuff you got to do to get the house ready to sell. Not just take pictures. You got to make it look presentable for the pictures.
Well, you can't go in and start rehabbing a house with a tenant in there. That's not legal. I mean, you have to wait till they leave to get it ready. But for them to give you zero access, bull.
Yeah.
Bull.
Yeah.
Not in most states. Now, maybe in the Socialist Republic of California or something like that, it's possible there. Or maybe one of these other areas where, the laws are just wacky. But most states have reasonable tenant protections and reasonable landlord protections.
Right.
And there's a way that the law interfaces to create a fair transaction, a fair justice and mercy can be both implemented there in a way where, yes, compassion is available, but not if you're just misbehaving.
Within reason. Well, hopefully an ELP will help her, and then she can get it sold and not have this long-distance rental and not have to deal with it anymore.
There we go. She said she's getting it on the market in December, but this is June.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit of a ways.
Got a while.
So, I'm wondering if there's, man, I'll start to get, that's good. I think we got her on the run there. That's good.